I welcome you to Mindful Meditation. I'm the assistant professor with Rutgers Cooperative Extension of Cape May County Family and Community Health Sciences Department. And I'm really glad you joined us today. Like I said, I think it's going to be a really interesting topic, and I found great benefits from mindful meditation, and I hope that you will too. Co-hosting with me today is the FCHS Pro Consultant, Fong Pommier. And if you have any questions, she's going to be monitoring the chat. Right now, I'm going to ask her to release the first poll for me, please. She's got a lot she's doing now. There's people coming in at the same time. So with the poll that's being released, it's really important for us to know who's joining us in the audience and that we're reaching our audience with Rutgers Cooperative Extension. So if you would take a minute to fill this first poll out, I would very much appreciate it. Rutgers University is an equal opportunity university, and Rutgers Cooperative Extension is part of Rutgers, New Jersey Agricultural Experiment Station. Rutgers is a land-grant university, which means that it has cooperative extension services throughout the state of New Jersey to support the community with educational information that's scientifically research-based. Rutgers Cooperative Extension is a partnership between the Board of County Commissioners, Rutgers, the State University of New Jersey, and the USDA's National Institute of Food and Agriculture. And we have faculty or staff in 21 of the 21 New Jersey counties right now. And we're composed of 3 departments, and they include agriculture and natural resources, also 4-H youth development, and then my department, which is Family and Community Health Sciences, or FCHS, as we call ourselves. And FCHS provides outreach to New Jersey and beyond on topics related to nutrition, chronic disease prevention, food safety, and overall wellness. We hope that you'll visit our websites and our for nutrition and wellness information after this webinar, and also join us on social media. I'm going to post how to locate us on our web pages, as well as our social media handles at the end of the presentation, so that you have that. And I'll also include my email, so that if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I love to hear from everyone, and I'm always glad to try to answer questions for you. And if I don't have an answer, I will certainly try to find one for you. So I appreciate that. All right, so let's get started today. Today's objectives in the presentation on mindful meditation are the health benefits of mindful meditation. I'm going to introduce some easy starting points and some resources and practice tips for beginners. And to start with, I'd like to discuss what mindful meditation, mindfulness and meditation are, to give you a better background and hopefully make you understand that a healthy mindful practice is not as daunting as it may seem. And you'll hear me use the word practice throughout, and make reference to the fact that this is a practice. This is something that, it's difficult for some people, and it does take practice. So don't beat yourself up, take that time to practice it and get to learn it. I do also want to ask you to please take your take your camera out, your phone out, and hold it up to that QR code. It will, if you open your camera on your phone and just hold it up to the screen right there, it'll pull up at the top a little area where you can click, and it'll take you to a anonymous survey that will give us some feedback on the presentation. And if you could have that up for the end of the presentation and take that, I'd really appreciate it. And this year is incentive to hopefully encourage everyone to take this survey. There'll be a little area at the end that will not associate you with your survey answers, but it will give you the ability to enter in for a prize. So once a semester, so later, probably in the winter here, early spring, get who answered the surveys from those questions, and I will be able to enter you for a prize. So I'm going to be drawing a couple prizes. So if you want to try to enter for a prize, then please fill out that survey for me. And I appreciate it ahead of time. So let's get started. The term mindfulness is used in many different ways in today's society. And Dr. John Kabat-Zinn defines mindfulness as paying attention in a particular way, kind of on purpose, and being in the present moment, and not being non-judgmental. So as an example, if we're speaking about mindfulness in eating, it would mean eating with nothing happening but eating. So think about when you sit down at the table, what other things are going on. But mindful eating would be no electronics. You wouldn't have, TV on or anything like that. You wouldn't be reading and it would be nothing to distract you from the act of consuming food. It would be purely eating. It would mean not only tasting the food, but realizing the texture of it, the smell of the food, maybe how hot or cold it might be, and the act of actually chewing in that moment. Likewise, it would mean being non-judgmental about what you're doing. So enjoying the moment for what it is and recognizing that if there's judgment, to just direct this judgment into a kind and positive manner. So for instance, instead of saying, oh, I'm eating salad again, and having a negative kind of thought about what you're eating, take a minute to realize that, the salad's crunchy, it's tasty, it's crispy, and it's providing your body with nourishment to keep it strong and healthy. So think of it in a positive manner. So, that positivity goes a long way in the mindfulness practice. According to Patel, Jewell, and Rhodes, who wrote the Mindfulness Activity Guide for Adults, mindfulness has different definitions, and it can have different interpretations for everyone and every individual. They say when we give our mind and body the opportunity to experience mindfulness through awareness, appreciation, curiosity, and kindness to oneself and others, it can create an enlightened, reflective, and optimistic experience for us all. I recently took a training on mindful meditation because I wanted to learn more about this and I wanted to be able to teach more about it to all of you. And when I told people that I am friendly with or I know I was doing this, several of them responded with, I'd really like to learn how to do that. But every time I go to meditate, I just can't stop my mind from having all those thoughts race in and focus on actually meditating. And I too felt that way. I was one of those people that thought, I just have such a hard time calming myself down. It's really difficult for me. So I just wanted to explain a little bit about mindfulness and meditation, or mindful meditation, to reduce some of the stress around the practice. Again, Patel, Jewell, and Rhodes define meditation as a formal mindfulness practice that strengthens present moment awareness. So think of mindful meditation as a weight-bearing exercise of the mind. So just like you would lift weights for your muscles to become strong, this is an exercise for your mind. It strengthens the muscle of your mind, and it improves your stamina to focus in the now. So it brings us to the present, which is really important. And I think in the times we live in, with all that we have going on around us, that's really difficult. So as I said, people often think of meditating as thinking of nothing and just allowing thoughts into your mind. The practice of mindful meditation allows for what's natural, and it's natural for us to be thinking. Our minds are constantly thinking. Just take a minute here and sit quietly and realize how many thoughts pop into your head. It was probably just in that little segment a lot. You're probably thinking, oh, I wonder when she's going to talk again. I wonder when this is going to be over. So there's so many things. I have to do this. I have to do that. So many things racing in and out of our brains, but our brains are designed to think. So thinking is going to occur. It's perfectly natural. Rather than stressing over it or, trying not to think, recognize that thought that pops into your mind and then try to let it go. If it comes back, acknowledge it. And again, try not to expand on it, but rather let it go. Doing this is really going to help with the overall of being more self-aware and self-confident. And it's also going to teach the mind to more easily let troubling thoughts move away and support a less stressful lifestyle. As you practice mindful meditation, try to focus on something simple, like your breath or the feeling of your skin. And all the while, keep your thoughts gentle and try to clear them out by just focusing on what is in the front of your mind or anchoring your mind in the thought of your breath or the feeling of your skin. It's important to remember, just like when you're training for, something physically, like say running a 5K, meditation is going to take practice, like I said in the beginning, and allow for this practice and make time for it so that you can really reap the physical and mental benefits of mindful meditation. Some people, myself, it's better if I set a time aside to do it every day so that it's regular. So that might be a good way for you to train your mind for that or practice meditation. Excuse me. So the practice of mindful meditation is going to differ for everybody on this call. And we're going to have different outcomes, and that fact has made it really difficult to study the benefits of mindfulness and to kind of summarize what the benefits are. However, Davis and Hayes did a review of several different mindfulness practices in 2011, and they concluded the use of mindfulness and as is used to improve emotional resilience and physical health can really positively influence our overall well-being. So if you're using it for health benefits, there is a lot of support for well-being there. According to Patel, Jewell, and Rhodes from the excuse me, from Maryland Cooperative Extension, excuse me, I have a dry spot in my throat. They have a, sorry, I'm going to start over again. According to Patel, Jewell, and Rhodes from Maryland Cooperative Extension, in their mindful activity guide for adults, regular mindfulness meditation practice can have significant improvements on both physical, mental, and emotional well-being. So first, we're going to talk about why this may be. Our bodies are conditioned through nature to respond to frightening or stressful situations. And you may have run into this in your everyday life. So for instance, if you see a bear in your backyard, your natural instinct is either going to be to fight or flight to avoid being harmed by that bear. Your body and your mind tell you that I have to fight this bear to save myself, or I have to get away from this bear. Now, most of us, sometimes in New Jersey, we do see bears in our backyard, but it's not common. But this constant state of fight or flight that our body responds to things with, it can really have a toll on our physical and emotional well-being. So for instance, this can act in a way that's very general in our everyday life. Take email, for instance. So if you get an email from a person regularly and it maybe causes more work for you, or it angers you, or makes you question yourself, you may have that fight or flight response every time you get a similar email like that. And it's likely to cause you to respond in that fight or flight type response mode. So you may respond negatively or aggressively to that email, or you might not respond at all because you did the flight part of it, right? So even though those fight or flight responses are there, it's important to consider the benefit of mindfulness meditation to help with those type things that occur naturally just as part of being a human being. Physical well-being that might help from this practice include boosting the immune system, better ability to manage chronic pain as well as chronic disease. It allows the immunity system to be boosted. We have a better ability to avoid stress eating, emotional eating, which supports a healthier weight. It might also help us to manage substance use disorder and other addictions. Mindful practices foster an overall healthier lifestyle as an awareness of our body and mind take the forefront. This can help us improve sleep too. So mindful meditation does this by allowing the mind quiet time to better associate the difference in that fight or flight response that I talked about earlier. And it helps us to process situations better so that we're not automatically reacting in a fight or flight situation because our mind is grounded. Mental and emotional well-beings are also supported by mindful meditation as it reduces stress. It reduces anxiety and depression symptoms. It improves your focus, and it helps us to adapt to varying circumstances because it improves cognitive flexibility. It also reduces the likelihood of emotional reactivity. So that instant, I'm going to react quickly because you have taken the time to quiet your mind and give it a little bit of rest. It nurtures your ability for self-compassion and self-acceptance, and it improves your sense of work-life balance. And that's a thing that's really important to everybody, especially in these times when we, sometimes had to work remote or under stressful conditions due to the pandemic. Mindful meditation assists with your body and distinguishing between that fight or flight mode response for better overall mental and physical health. So let's get started. Now that we know the mental and physical benefits of mindful meditation, getting started with mindful meditation means locating a source that assists you and supports you. I would suggest find resources for this. I'm going to give you some at the end of the presentation, and then I'm going to send you a follow-up email with those resources in there if you want to check it out. But in the meantime, consider blocking off some time each day just for you. Like I said, if you find yourself making excuses or prioritizing other things, try to remember the health benefits you could see from this practice and consider it a gift to yourself as well as the people that you love, because it'll probably allow you to have a little bit better patience overall. Once you've blocked off some time to practice, test different practices to see what's best for you. I know I've gotten into some of them sometimes and I'm like, oh no, this person's voice is not relaxing me. So, you might have to play with a few of them to find what you like. So don't give up if you don't find that right away. And you don't need to spend money or search, a lot of different places on the internet. You can even guide yourself through mindful meditation by focusing in a comfortable position. And it's worth noting that sometimes people who practice mindful meditation may feel a little emotional. And if this happens, remember that there's no right or wrong emotion when you're doing it. And it might be your way of coping, having that emotional outlet with the awareness that you're creating from this practice. So if you've been, bottled up really heavily, you might experience that. And it, that again is a good thing because you're kind of letting go. I'm sorry, next page. Again, you don't need to spend a lot of money to do this, and it can be done anywhere and at any time. Popular poses for mindful meditation include the lotus pose, which you could see up there in the left-hand corner. And that's a yoga pose. And if that's what's comfortable for you, it's a good example of a position that you could use to practice mindful meditation with. Walking is another way to practice mindful meditation. You can see there's a person there walking on the beach. And that's one that, you definitely want to be cautious with if you're not used to practicing it. It's very nice to do in nature, as you can see with the beach or out in the woods or something like that, where you feel, contact with the earth and nature and your environment. But just make sure that the ground is flat and even and that you're safe so in your surroundings when you're doing a walking meditation. Another way is either sitting in a chair like this. Sometimes I'll do it, on my lunch hour, I'll do a quick mindful meditation, and it really boosts me through the rest of the day and helps me focus on what I need to get done for the afternoon. And also lying down is an option. So when you're sitting in a chair, try to sit on the edge of the chair, and that's most preferable. But that's not to say that if you're not comfortable, you can't put your back against the chair, because if you need that back support, it's what's comfortable for you. Make sure that your spine is nice and aligned. So you want to sit up straight and that your head is on top of your spine. So think about stacking your head on top of your vertebrae or your backbone so that you're not slouching forward and you're in a comfortable position. And you also want to make sure that your feet are flat on the floor in that sitting position. If you choose to lie down, that's another option. And oftentimes people who choose to lie down want to do it on a yoga mat or a blanket on the floor. And you do that in corpse pose, which is another yoga pose, which means that you're laying with your arms at your side and you're going to let your palms come up towards the sky or the ceiling. And you're going to have your feet straight out, and you just want your toes to kind of relax to the side and drop off to the side. And it's often recommended that you do use a yoga mat or a blanket, because if you do it in bed, it might interrupt your sleep patterns. So, it's good to do it somewhere other than a bed. And I found, as far as the bed situation, when I first started practicing this and doing this, I would kind of doze off because I became so relaxed. And so if you find yourself doing that, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up when you kind of pull yourself back out of it and you realize, oh, I'm not sleeping, I'm meditating, that's fine. Just continue on with the meditation. And like I said, it might happen. So realize that could be happening to you as well. The other position you could try is standing, which is an option if you feel comfortable. No matter what position that you choose, pick one that's right for you. Again, it's just like the one having the right meditation for you. This is individual to everybody. So I'm just giving options out there, and you can try, to play around and see what is best for you, and see what's most comfortable in your situation. All right, so we have this beautiful sunset here, taken right here in Cape May County. And I just want to give you an example. I'd like to try a short mindful meditation with you now so you can experience it if you have not before. And if you have experienced it before, I would like you to try it just so you have an idea of another option with the one that I'm going to give you. And you get your maybe double meditation to mindful meditation today, So hopefully you'll be even more relaxed. As I'm introducing what we're going to do, I'm going to talk through this a little bit, but as I'm doing that, I want you to find a comfortable position. So if you need to get up and move from, sitting in the chair, you want to try that corpse position, or you want to stand, or you want to do it walking, wherever you are. Again, make sure you're safe. Go ahead and start finding those poses now, finding those positions now. I'm going to talk a little bit before we get started. So I want you to sit in a chair. If you're sitting in the chair, again, make sure your neck is straight. You're not leaning forward like this. You want to be nice and straight. Make sure you're not slouching. If you're lying down on the floor or the lotus position, get into a comfortable position there. Like I said, we are recording this meeting, but you can turn your camera off. We're trying to turn everybody's camera off, and you shouldn't be seen, but just in case you don't want to be seen, you make sure your camera's off. Take a minute to get yourself settled. And remember that there is no right or wrong for this situation. This is your individual thing. Thoughts are going to be normal, as we talked about, and they'll come into your mind, and just try to gently excuse them so that you can return to your time of meditation. It may help you if you're beginning to focus on your breath as an anchor. Remember, I talked about having an anchor. So if your mind wanders to a thought, simply go back to focusing on your breathing. I will be talking throughout just here and there to give you guidance, but your breathing should be natural, and it should be at your own pace. So just even as I'm talking, I should be background. So you're just gonna, natural breathing in and out at your own pace. I put the sunrise on the screen so that you can direct your gaze down like this. So you have your eyes open, but you're looking down, or you could look at the photo on the screen, or you can even close your eyes. Whatever is comfortable for you and where you feel most comfortable. No one is going to see you, again, as long as your camera's off, and you can do what you like. The name of this meditation is a stop meditation, so STOP, and this is great for beginners, and it stands for stop whatever you're doing, take deep breaths, observe your thoughts, emotions, and body sensations, and finally proceed with whatever you're doing. So this is a really nice grown-up time out meditation, I like to call it. It helps to keep you, makes you feel more focused and calm, and it's time just for you, so you can do something for yourself. So again, please close your eyes right now, or use the picture to focus on the screen, or direct your gaze down at one spot. And the stop meditation is a really good way to find focus. So we constantly live in a distracted state of mind, bombarded with information and deadlines. Stop meditation helps you to do a mental check-in of your body, emotions, and sensations in reactivity in the present moment. So it helps for us to gain a sense of now. Next time you're reacting and responding to a difficult issue or a person, do a mental check-in with the stop meditation. The practice isn't a solution for difficult emotions, but it is meant to help you practice self-awareness and process current experiences. Mindful meditation has been shown to reduce blood pressure, heart rate, and helps a person develop slow breathing. It is very common to experience slight lightheadedness, dizziness, or visual blurriness after meditating. So these experiences are especially common when one practices deeper and longer meditations. But if that were to happen to you today, don't panic. Just allow yourself some time when we finish this meditation to open your eyes and let your body gradually awaken from the moment of deep relaxation. And be careful if you're going to get up right away or walk. You just might want to sit, and I'll give you time for that when we're finished. So let's get started. You should be in a comfortable position right now. So we're going to get started with just stretching by putting your hands up over your head and just gently moving side to side. So you can feel your body, probably feel your spine a little bit. All right. And now we're going to bring our hands down, and we're going to go into a 4-step process for the stop meditation. It starts with stopping what you're doing. And now that we're sitting or standing or lying in a comfortable, dignified posture, we're going to naturally create a posture to sit on the front or the edge of the chair. We're going to be well balanced on your feet if you're standing, and you're going to adjust your posture now. Make sure that your legs are not crossed, but they're simply resting flat on the floor. And if you're lying down, allow your hands to fall to your side and allow your feet to naturally fall outward in corpse position. If you're in the lotus pose, remember to stack your spine and your head. Gently close your eyes now and relax your shoulders, neck, and spine. And let's begin by taking a few deep breaths in. We're going to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Take a few deep breaths to find an equilibrium and center your attention. Follow the natural rhythm of breathing for your body. Now that you've taken a few deep breaths in to find an equilibrium or center, and bring your full attention to the present moment, focusing on that breath. Notice what physical sensations you're experiencing in your body right now. Is it a certain smell, a sound, or do you feel tension in your shoulders? Just notice whatever sensations are arising in your body and continue to focus on your breathing. Now bring your emotions into awareness. What are you feeling right now? Is it calmness, anxiousness, anger? Identify your emotions, or if you have none at all, that's fine too. Acknowledge that you're not feeling anything right now if you're not feeling anything. Avoid thinking statements like, I am calm, or I am anxious, or I am angry. And instead, acknowledge and separate the label of the emotions that come to mind with, it is peace, it is worry, it is annoyance. This will help you detach from the emotions and soften intense emotional reactivity. Continue to focus on your breath. Now think about what things you can do to nurture and support yourself. Now, when you're ready, take a few deep breaths in and slowly open your eyes so that we're able to proceed with the tasks we were doing prior to this webinar. You can practice this technique throughout the day whenever you feel distracted or stressed or overwhelmed, and think of it as a mental check-in. It's a great way of self-caring, healing, and pausing from the daily hustle and bustle of our lives. This technique is also effective before conducting meetings or group tasks. I hope that you found that enjoyable. And like I said, I'm going to share in a moment some extra resources. Here you go. About ways to practice mindful meditation. You could stretch or yoga, walking, Tai Chi, or intentional breathing breaks throughout the day to help you. As we do those deep breaths in and deep breaths out, it releases endorphins in our body and allows us to find a calmer state of being. Some great resources for this are the Center for Mindfulness at University College of San Diego, Ohio University Guided Meditation, and Walking Meditation with Jack Cornfield. And like I said, I will share those documents with you after the presentation. Once again, if you would take a minute to rate this, the discussion today, give us some feedback on your thoughts and how you enjoyed or did not enjoy the presentation, that's very helpful to us. And you can do that by holding up your phone to the presentation there, and I'm sorry, to the QR code. And finally, here is my contact information that I will glad to be hearing from you. If you want to check this recording out afterwards, you can find it on our website. It'll be posted later, probably next week. And you can check it out there, or you can share it with a friend. These are the resources that I used for today. And that's all we have. If you want to release that final poll, we have about 1 minute left, Fong. That would be very helpful. Thank you. And then if anybody has any questions or comments, for me, please don't hesitate to put them into the chat and we'll take a look at them. And again, for those of you who have to get on with their day and your processes for the day, I hope you go about them in a more mindful and relaxed way now. For those of you that do know me personally, you know that it is not an easy thing for me to slow myself down, but it is a great thing. I found a lot of relaxation and focus from this. It's helped me with my work and my personal life. So I hope you too will find some relaxation and have learned a few things today. And again, if you have any questions, please put them in the poll. In the chat, sorry. And if you could finish the poll, that would be great too, before you leave us. I guess everybody's too relaxed to ask questions today. You're welcome. I will be having next month's presentations. The next month's lunch and learn activity will be the DASH diet, and it's Heart Month, as you probably know, in February. And we'll be discussing the DASH diet for hypertension. So anybody interested, please join us for that later in the month. I think it's February 24th. And then I'm also going to be doing a presentation on healthy snacking, make time for snack time, for the Ocean City Library for a lunch and learn there that I welcome you to join too. And these are always posted on our websites. So, and our Facebook pages. So I encourage you to follow us if you have any interest in more programming that we're doing. And I put my email into the chat if anybody's interested. How are we doing on the poll? We get
90%.
Oh, you guys are good. Good job. Let's see if we can get 100% before we sign off. And don't forget, if you fill out the online survey, that is totally anonymous, as is the poll, but it's totally anonymous. And then you are entered to win, if you leave your email, you're entered to win a prize if you're interested in doing that as well. I'll just put in the chat, here's the link to that survey if you're interested. So, all right, if nobody has any more questions, I think we will sign off for today. And I appreciate everybody coming, and have a nice, relaxful, mindful day. Take care.